What's up, guys? How are you? It's a Wednesday for the Daily Juice Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Perrault. Every single morning, you guys get here wherever you get your audio podcasts. Our videos are always available on BettingPros, bettingpros.com, and the Betting Pros YouTube channel. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. And boy, betting is a roller coaster. So 1-4 on Monday. We did get the plus 185 to come in with Daytona. That fortuitous break got us hot. We swept the board yesterday, 3-0. The Creighton Blue Jays with their first win over a number one ranked team in school history. The Creighton Blue Jays beating a defending champion for the first time since 1947. And they didn't just beat UConn. They beat the living daylights out of UConn last night. That was awesome. They went down, and then foul trouble got involved with UConn, and the Jays just didn't miss. And I got to eat all of my words about Stephen Ashworth over the last couple of months because I did not think he fit. I was very concerned with his inability to guard. I was very concerned about his inability to be a true point guard, and yet he has played very well over the last really like 6 games for the Creighton Blue Jays. What a damn win for Coach McDermott. What a win for Omaha. I've been covering Creighton basketball since 2005. I don't remember a court storm. On the broadcast, they said it happened in 2020, right before the COVID year. Okay, I don't remember it. And then in 2012, I don't remember that at all. I mean, it was in a bracket buster game. So I definitely think that's possible. That was during the Dana Altman era. But the Jays generally do not like court storming. They do not allow it. They don't like it. But you beat the number one team in the country, get out of the way. They're going to storm the court, and boy, did they ever have a good time last night in Omaha. That was great. Utah State came in. We got that right. BYU bounced back after a rough couple of minutes to start the game against Baylor to get that right. 3-0, up 3 units on the day. So from 1-4 to 3-0, and we're 4-4, and we're up on the week. Just like that. That's gambling. That's sports betting in a nutshell, and that's why... one of the fun things about this podcast is that I tell you guys everything. When I lose, when I win, I'm transparent with my official plays as to how I have done. And some of you understand the roller coaster. Some of you got kind of crazy and you're like, bet 2 units on everything he's playing because he's going to win today. And it happened. I mean, that's the roller coaster of it. Up and down, up and down. So down Monday, up Tuesday. What does that mean for Wednesday? I don't know. Probably down, but we're sticking with college basketball. I'm now 53-39 in college basketball. We're up over 13 units in college basketball. Let's just ride this sport, okay? Hockey, I didn't bet anything, but I like mythical bet hockey. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but you're like, let's see how cold I am in a sport. If I were to have bet, what would I have come out with the NHL? I would have gone 1-4 with the NHL. No, thank you. Staying away from hockey. Clearly, no NBA to bet yet, so that comes back later in the week. Let's just stick with college basketball. This podcast being brought to you by omahasteaks.com. The customized URL is omahasteaks.com/juice. When you guys use that URL, you can sign up for a subscription service to omahasteaks.com. They'll give you free burgers for life for doing it, plus 10% off anything you buy at omahasteaks.com. You get there, sign up for the sub, go there at omahasteaks.com/juice. Okay. Tough night. This is a tough night. Just going to be honest. This is a tough night. Duke's at Miami. Number's 5.5. KenPom has this as a 6-point win for Duke. Number's 5.5. Duke's offense is really good. They're 12th in efficiency. They're 29th in effective field goal percentage. They're 20th in three-point percentage. They're 50th in two-point percentage. Miami's offense is good. Not outstanding. It's good. 68th in efficiency. 36th in effective field goal percentage. 29th in three-point shooting. And 64th in two-point percentage. They get 34.5% of their points from behind the three-point line. This is the identical handicap to the Creighton Blue Jays up against UConn as it is Miami up against Duke. It's the same handicap. Miami has to hit their threes. If Miami hits their threes, Miami can win this game outright. Will they? Probably not. But I feel like 5.5 is too many points. It's too heavy. Now, Duke on the road this year is 5-4-1. But Miami is 8-5-1 ATS at home. And darn, do they need a win here. They've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 5 out of 6. And, I mean, everything is going south for Jim Laranaga's team. For Duke, the exact opposite. They beat Florida State laying 6. They won by 9. They beat Wake Forest by laying 7. They won by 8. They beat Boston College laying 12.5. Won by 15. They beat Notre Dame laying 17. They won by 18. They lost to North Carolina, but since that loss to Carolina on the road, they've won 4 games in a row and covered all 4. They're hot. But on the road this year, they've been kind of wishy-washy, you know? They didn't cover against Notre Dame on the road. They didn't cover against Louisville on the road. Didn't cover against North Carolina on the road. Yes, they did cover against Florida State in their last game. But I got a team in Miami that's playing for their life. I mean, literally playing for their life here. They have got to try to, I mean, if not win this game, keep this game extremely close. 5.5, I'm going to ride this home late February home trend. Miami plus 5.5 for 1.1 units. Let's lose the game by 3. ESPN's got the broadcast. Huge game in the ACC. Miami has to have it. I'm taking the home dog. Miami plus 5.5. To the Big East we go. Providence is on the road against Xavier. According to KenPom, this is going to be a 4-point win. The number is 5. Xavier at home, laying 5 up against Providence. They played in Providence 85-65. 20-point win. Xavier killed Providence earlier this year. Now, does that mean that's going to happen again? No, obviously. New venue, different time, different teams, really. Providence on the road this year is very good ATS. They're 7-3. Xavier at home this year, they're 8-7, having covered in their last 3 games. 7-7 Xavier, ATS against the Big East. Providence 10-5. Here's the thing. Back-to-back losses for Xavier. They are in jeopardy of not making the NCAA tournament. Their backs are squarely against the wall, and they got a home crowd to try to take them to victory. They need it. They're laying 5. Providence has been great at keeping games close, okay? Providence won by 3 against St. John's and covered. They lost by 3 against Butler and covered. They won by 4 against the Creighton Blue Jays at home, 2-point dogs. Won by 4 and covered. On the road against Nova, they got worked, 4.5-point dogs, lost by 18. But against Seton Hall on the road, catching 4, they won by 4. Against DePaul, they laid 9.5. They won by 38. Against St. John's on the road, catching 7.5, they lost by 2. Against the Creighton Blue Jays, catching 11, they lost by 9. They have a good knack of keeping games close. But if you go to KenPom and take a look at how KenPom sees this game, 4-point win, it's one possession, right? It's one more free throw. It's one more bucket that comes in here. And I think given the fact that they've already killed them once, I think with your backs squarely against the wall in a must-win situation, they're 10-5 straight up at home. They've beaten some decent teams like St. John's at home so far this year. I'm going to take the more desperate team here. I think if you just look at the wins so far at home, Butler 85-71, Georgetown 92-91. That's a fluke. St. John's 88-77. Villanova 56-53. Seton Hall 74-54. They've blown teams out at home. They already blew out Providence once this year. I'm going to go ahead and back Xavier here at home for Sean Miller's club. They're 13-12 straight up. They're 7-7 in the Big East. It is absolute go time for them. They play Providence, then they play Marquette on the road, DePaul at home, Georgetown on the road, Butler on the road, and Marquette at home. They can't afford any more losses. I mean, they lose this game. They probably lose both games to Marquette, and they're out. That's it. No NCAA tournament for Xavier. Huge game tonight for them. I'll lay the 5 at home. Xavier -5 for 1.1 units. And finally, we're going to go to Kentucky and LSU. Whew. I've gone back and forth like crazy on this game, okay? The number is up to 7. Now, why? Well, I think what the pros are hearing, and whether it's true or not, we're going to find out. But it sounds like, from an injury standpoint, it sounds like one of the key guards for LSU, Jalen Cook, is out. He's questionable. But the number jumped to 7 because I think the theory is he's out. Kentucky -7. Now, this year, Kentucky on the road is 8-2 ATS. They've been tremendous. 5-8 LSU. 5-8 ATS. But Kentucky is 7-5 in the SEC. LSU is 6-6. Everybody was wowed by what Kentucky did to Auburn in their last game on the road. Crushed them. They were catching 8.5 points. They won by 11. They routed Auburn. Remember what happened at UConn? When UConn destroyed Marquette? What happened in the next game? The inconsistencies of Kentucky worries me here. So, they beat Missouri by 13. Then they went on the road and they lost to Missouri. They beat Missouri by 13. They went on the road and they lost Texas A&M by 5. They beat Georgia by 9, went on the road and lost by 17 to South Carolina. They beat Vanderbilt by 32. They lost to Gonzaga at home. See my point? When they have a big win, they're very inconsistent. Everyone, Kentucky is beloved by so many people that when Kentucky wins and they blow people out, they're like, oh, they're back. John Calipari's got them fixed. They're all back. On the road against South Carolina, last time out, LSU won the game outright. It's 8-point dogs. Against Florida on the road, they were catching 11. They lost by 2. Now, Bama did kill them in both games against Alabama. They lost by 17 and by 21. Yes, they got killed on the road against Tennessee. Lost by 20. They beat Arkansas by 21, though. They beat Ole Miss by 9. They lost to A&M by 4 at home. They went to Auburn. They lost by 15 points. Kentucky went there and won. The point is, LSU is really up and down, but they've covered their last 2 games, and this is Kentucky in Baton Rouge. This is a chance to do some damage. This is a chance to get an absolute monster win if they can pull this off. Now, chances are they're not going to pull this off, but it feels heavy. 7 points just feels like it's too much for Kentucky. KenPom has this as a 4-point win. Now, I get it. Key injury, pros are betting against it, but it's still 3 points of value here on this. In college basketball, yes, one kid is incredibly important, and it can change everything for LSU if Jalen Cook is out. He's a guy who's been tremendous, playing 34 minutes a game for them, a guy who has the basketball in his hands a lot. He can shoot from 3. He's a good foul shooter. He's a huge loss. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm not sure that he's worth 3 points. One player in college basketball? I'm going to take the dog. Give me LSU at home. +7. We're taking the Tigers at home this year, fading that number for Kentucky at 8-2 because, well, it's Kentucky, and I think the number's inflated because it's Kentucky. I think they win the game, but winning on the road in college basketball is so hard. We just saw it last night, right? It's so tough to win on the road. Got a home dog in LSU. Give me 7. LSU +7 for 1.1 units. All right. 3 bets in college basketball like last night. Miami +5.5. Xavier -5. LSU +7. All 3 teams are at home, just like last night. Backing home teams here late in February because, well, winning on the road in college basketball is next to impossible right now. It's really, really hard. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.